Look, your life is either simple or complicated by your choice. It can't be both. There are 8 siblings alive in my family. One, one, one now deceased. Both our parents are dead. All of us are over 50 years old. And all our lives are complicated. My siblings may say otherwise, you know, but I'm a realist. And that's my take. Life can be kept simple if you go by the philosophy that nothing belongs to you. And that is true. You came with nothing and will leave with nothing. So all you need do is hibernate, live on low energy, waiting to die. However, the glass half full view is also true that God is one overall, the 5% created universe and the 95% nothingness, darkness, or space. And so, the universe too is one energy, you know? So that when you become one with the universe opens up to you. You become one with the universe by adopting a universal identity, you know? Be a universal citizen. And so everything belongs to you. You then access the entire universe. You are free to roam, where you are free to roam in the spirit realm. For God is a spirit. God is spirit, and so are you. You are both physical and spiritual. You can live in either world. Whereas everything, but be governed by. Whereas everything in the physical realm comes with boundaries beyond which you cannot grow, you know, or go or grow. Once you become governed by the spirit realm, you're in the realm of boundlessness. Yes, transactions only occur in this 5% created universe. The rest of 95% is nothingness, darkness, or space, but God is everywhere in the entire 100%. And the spirit realm comprises the 100%. But it is only in the spirit realm, boundlessness, that you're able to grow and expand without limit. So be governed by your spirit then. That's the choice. That's the smart choice to make. The only choice where you can grow without limit indefinitely here on earth and in the, you know, here on earth where it matters. Your mind is your tool for exploration. It is not to be used for drawing conclusions. Note that down, such as to believe. When you believe, you draw conclusions. Your intellect wants to know, not believe. You should neither believe nor disbelieve anything until it enters your experience. For in believing, you are putting down anchor. If you anchor, how can you set sail? Unless you set sail, how can you explore? Unless you explore, how can you know? I.e., life. How can you experience A, B, or C? Believing, for example, such as to say something like, this is it, which amounts to drawing conclusion, which then negates the use of your mind. When you believe, you are making an assumption with which you draw a conclusion to give yourself confidence. However, confidence without clarity. Confidence building is purely psychological. Psyching yourself up is something you should never do. You must always tell yourself the truth, as well as tell other people the truth. Be candid with them unless there's, they're mentally challenged. But you should be candid with people. Tell them the truth. If it is no, it is no. If it is yes, it is yes. If it is, let me think about it, then give me time to think about it. That way you'll be able to sit in stillness and on a stable foundation. Yeah? What you need is to get clarity, not confidence building. Once you have clarity, you don't need to gin up confidence. And I'm talking to anybody who's an athlete, anybody who's whatever, an artist of any kind, a professional. People that come to me, that's how I counsel with them. Oh, these sports team and what have you, these artists and what have you, they travel with their psychologists, they travel. Look, I am not one. But I'm telling you, if you want to get there, I can definitely help you chart your way. And psychology is not the way to go. You got to be real about it. God is real. Life is real. Hmm? Reality is what comes naturally. If you have to invent it, then it's a darn lie. So, what you need is get clarity. To get clarity, not confidence building. Once you have clarity, you don't need to gin up confidence. Your path is already illuminated. You're seeing the clear path ahead of you, which then enables you to travel at lightning speed. To see the clear path, i.e., if you are an athlete or preparing for an exam, what you need is adequate preparation. Yeah, competence. Work on your competence. Your mind should never tell you what to do, my friend. Whenever that's happening, you're not in control of it. You use your mind to think. Thinking is an activity. You go through a process. You have to stop to think. Stop what you're doing to think. If your mind is acting on its own, you're not in control of it. So you need to stop what you're doing to think. You don't think by letting your mind act on its own. Let us say you and an individual are going through a situation. Bearing in mind that life does not present us with problems, only situations. Situations only become problems when people don't have the solutions. Situations can become complicated like a wheel within a wheel. When on the surface it appears to be one thing, it looks cooked and ready to eat, but then you stick it with a fork or toothpick only to find it's half baked, half raw. So that's life. That's life. Life is real. In life, you've got to exercise patience. Patience is giving things time to cook, time to heal, time to play out. Whenever you're unsure of what's happening, don't draw conclusions, darn it. Don't read into it. Don't read into it. Let it play out. Look into it. Investigate. Ask questions. Let me end by distinguishing between intuition and instinct. First, instinct. Instinct is something that all creatures, including human beings, have. Creatures simply means created, okay? Instinct comes with basic survival mode. Central to the basic survival mode is the reptilian brain that all creatures, including you, human beings, us human beings have. The reptilian brain is boundary setting, territorial. The dog uses it to pee on every darn light pole, singing I, mine, me, as it establishes its pea kingdom. Other creatures are limited to living in basic survival mode. Whenever their stomachs are full, their mission is accomplished. So they roll over and sleep and keep going around next day in the same cycle. All a creature is able to do is become a full-fledged creature of its kind, whether dog, or whatever. Human beings, on the other hand, in addition to their reptilian brain, which some use to anchor, some use it, some want to work with their reptilian brain, they don't use their intellect. Yeah? The reptilian brain is boundary setting, and so you can't grow beyond boundaries. Additionally, human beings, and they use words like discipline and respect and so on. Boundary setting, boundary setting, boundary setting. Respect is something you have to earn, my friend. Discipline, look, this is not the army. Yeah? This is not the colonial day. Discipline, learn to inspire. Inspire your children so they love the discipline of making their darn beds, love the discipline of learning their way in the yard and around in the kitchen. Yeah. Inspire. Not be top down, dictatorial. So in case of human beings, when their stomachs get full, only then their problem begins. She then comes up with the wish list of all the darn things that need to get done, because of the intellect. The human being has, in addition to the reptilian brain, the intellect despises boundaries. It wants to go out of bounds. It seeks unlimited growth and expansion. It yearns endlessly for fulfillment. The other creatures come with two lines, a top and a bottom. All creatures, including human beings, have the bottom line, the boundaries of time and space. For the human being, the boundary of space measures from the shoulder width and height, and the boundary of time is the average 3-10 lifespan. Because they only have their reptilian brain, the other creatures are not free to make choices. So they have a ceiling, a top line. Not so with the human beings. They come without a ceiling, able to grow and expand limitlessly, which is what the intellect wants. It despises boundaries. I am still learning to see with clarity. Yeah? Yeah, because it's every day you have to be that way. You've got to always see with clarity. So see through the layers, see the wheel within a wheel, learning never to draw conclusions, only to take what's there. I don't look back. When people come before me or in my presence, I give them undivided full attention. When people come before me, unless they're asking for a job or something, I don't look into their resume. I don't look into their past. I take what's there. Because as long as a person is alive, as long as they are drawing breath, yeah, she is able to become the very best version of him or herself. So I don't draw conclusions. I take what's there in real time. I'm a realist. So like I was saying, I come from a family of 9, one now deceased, together with parents who are also deceased. One of the 8, I'm of the 8, the youngest is over 50. Every single one of us have complicated lives, in my realist view. So it would behoove me to draw conclusions about any of my siblings. What I do is love them unconditionally, which is the only way to love. Really. What I have for them is love. There's only one way to love, and that's to give it away without conditions. You are a chemical factory, the producer. So you're supposed to be a push start. Push start? No, a self start. You came complete. You came complete. Why do you need inducement from outside? So, since you're the chemical factory and the producer of all emotions, including love, then all you need to do is replenish your stock. Unless you're loving unconditionally, you're not giving. Rather, you're holding people to ransom. It's either give away or credit, my friend. I stop and I think about my siblings. I process. I disallow my mind from acting on its own. All our lives, including my own, are complicated. Having more than myself to think about, my siblings have more than themselves to think about. It would behoove to be selfish. So our lives are complicated. Life is simple when you stuck it in its basic survival mode and think only about yourself from your reptilian brain with its features I, me, mine. With its compulsive thought and behavior. Yeah, you're supposed to elevate beyond survival mode and be mature. The mature thing to do is not only think about yourself, wherein you go from survival mode to career ambition mode, and from there to becoming a visionary. A vision is an expanded ambition. It's just a larger ambition. Ambition is thinking about yourself, caring for yourself. A vision is wanting for everyone else the same thing you want for yourself, with integrity. When people see that you have integrity, they give you their trust. They only distrust people and require promissory notes from who they no longer trust. It's like some politicians. So with evolution, you're supposed to elevate beyond compulsive thought and behavior and do things consciously with your awareness. Yeah? Look, you have to be, you have to be alert when you're driving, but awareness is a spiritual concept. Yeah? Consciousness is not something you strive for. You simply turn up the voltage. For light reveals everything, and with sufficient lighting, you'll then be able to see 100% of in that room or any given space. Therefore, my friend, become enlightened, see with clarity, and realize that the older you get, the more complicated your life becomes as the family grows. Yeah? With growth comes complication. You're no longer operating a darn fruit stand then. You're managing a supermarket. Okay, come of age. Let it be so. Ito lang. Kaya si saya. Ayo.